So I'm going to show you how to thread up this Brother Overlocker M343D. It was purchased off Amazon, so looks slightly different to the similar Brother model, which I'll put down in the description. It's very easy to do. It has a fast system. Let's get to it. So just to start me off, I have the lower looper here, the upper looper here, the two needles, so that's the right needle and the left needle. So the threads all go through the guides on the top of the machine here. So it comes through the back, through one, and then hoops round over two. So we go through one, and then loop round two, like that. Do that again with the blue. So this is the upper looper, through the loop hole and around two. We'll do the pink one now, which is the right needle. So through the hole and number two, and then the left needle and two, and then we'll bring it through each one through these holes. So then pull, that's number three, so that's your woolly nylon, which is our lower thread, blue thread, so that's our upper looper, pink thread, which is our right needle, and the left needle. So now that we've done steps 1, 2 and 3, the next step is step 4. Step 4 is bringing the thread through the tension discs. The tension discs are hiding next to these tension dials. Just as a guide, we're going to set them all back to the factory settings of 4. Now this is assuming it's a clean machine and you've made sure it's dust free. So we'll start with the lower looper. Now the upper and the lower looper are hidden behind this little door here, so we slide that across, bring that down, and we're going to follow a series of numbers. Now there's not actually very much here to do, it's just all the instructions there that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing. So but we do need them there because they do tell us what to do. So we're going to work with each one at a time. So let's grab the lower looper and bring it through, and we're going to grab the top thread and the thread at the top, grab the thread at the bottom, and make sure it's through those discs properly. And I'll just bring you in a bit closer. But before I start threading up the machine, I'm going to give you another tip. Let's make sure our knife is clearly out of the way. So we just need to lift our grey lever back, pull this apart, and just rotate it down out of the way. And that clips away. And you can leave that now. Another tip for setting up the machine is to make sure our presser foot is up. So let's lift that up, and also I like to make sure the needles are in the highest position, so I can do that with the hand wheel there. Okay, so what we want to do, pull our thread down. We want to follow the 5, so our hook is number 5. We've got our hook there 6, 7. We have this hook 8, and then number 9 tells us to move that lever across. So if we pull that lever, you can see this hook comes out. Let me show you a close up. So that hook there is what guides this thread back and forward across underneath the needle threads. So let's follow 4. Let's bring it back out again. We're going through the hook on 5. 6 and 7 over on 8, and then 9, so we pull that hook out there. I like to use a loop. I've got a broken nail, and then through this eye of the hook there, that comes from that hook there. Because the knife is out of the way, it's easy to just swoop that forward and push your thread to the back there like that. So watch that again, make sure you get all the hooks with your thread. Okay, so let's do the same with the upper looper. So there's our upper looper thread. So catch the thread at the back, behind 3 and in front of 3, and just make sure when you bring it down that you're pulling nice and tight between the tension discs there. So then let's move you down. So come down 4, 5 is this hook here, 6 is just that top hook, not the lower one. I'll show you. So there's a green dot on that one, but not on that one there. 7 is that hook there, and 8. Let's make sure our first thread is out of the way. And 8 is just that hook there. So I'm getting a bit long thread there. Let's snip some of that away and just feed it through there, catch at the back. And again, because the knife is out of the way, we can bring the thread forward under the foot and push it to the back. Make sure it's behind. And then the top needle threads, just follow 4, 5, 6, just like it does on a sewing machine. You have a guide here to ensure that your right needle is going on the right hand side of that guide and your left needle is going on the left hand side of that guide. Again, make sure you are getting your thread through that tension disc. So pull it nice and tight underneath. And because you've got your presser foot up, if you have your presser foot up, it releases those tension discs. So grab the top of the left hand thread and make sure it gets nicely tight and snug inside that tension disc. We're on the left hand side of the guide there, over the guide, above the needles, and make sure we get there with that eye. And we're through. Again, bring it round to the front and tuck it under the foot. And make sure all our threads follow through neatly. None of them are tangled. I can see that they all follow through. And if I pull on each one, I can see they come through nice and steadily. If you would like to put your knife back in place, let's go back in. Let's pull on this grey lever, pull it towards you, and make sure the knife is fully engaged into place. So let's place our piece of fabric under there, press a foot down, and let's see what happens. And there we go, a perfect stitch. And then loops are perfectly sitting on the top of my fabric. If I try it on some fleece, let's see what happens. And again, the tension might need to be changed. Press the foot up, put the needles up out of the way so I can tuck that in. Let's stop there, lift that up, and we'll chain off. And there we go, beautiful. Use the factory settings if you have any problems. Get it all back to the way it was when it came out of the box. And hopefully, following this video, you will be able to achieve great results every time on different weights of fabric. Once you've got the hang of it, why don't you follow our other videos and you can make entire projects just using a serger, just like this mat, which doubles up as a neat ironing mat for me. Take care.